Watch. Pundit, whose party wanted to imprison Trump, says nobody trying to put anybody in prison. And boy, does it backfire. I can't believe Van Jones had the audacity to say that no one tried to put anybody in prison. He like, it's a ludicrous statement. For years they've been trying to put Trump in prison with them fake felonies and all that other stuff. I mean, how many attorney generals tried to prosecute this man and lock him up? Are you for real? I can't believe he said that. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to play the clip. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Wall Street Journal, and they report that Democratic CNN commentator Van Jones bit off more than he could chew on Monday night while trying to go toe-to-toe with the network's in-house conservative Scott Jennings. Y'all know Scott Jennings don't play. During a panel discussion about a new grand jury probe into Obama-era officials over the Russia collusion hoax, Jones tried to claim the moral high ground. Now, mind you, he said no one went to. They try to lock up General Flynn. They did not lock up Paul Manafort. Are you for real right now? But the panel had been discussing a new grand jury ordered by Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate the fraudulent origins of the Russiagate narrative. So let's just get right to this ridiculous clip here. Here we go.
Well, I think we're downplaying what's been found. And, you know, with respect to my sparring partner here, Van, half the country and one entire political party has an article of faith that Russia stole the 2016 election. Now, how did they come to that conclusion? They came to that conclusion because high-ranking Democrats, many of whom had intelligence titles that were bestowed upon them in the Obama administration, spent a lot of time and effort making an entire political party believe that. If you went to a Democratic fundraising dinner or political dinner tonight and got asked the question, did Russia steal the election? And you said no, you'd be booed off the stage. And so I think you're downplaying what has actually happened here. One party and half the country believes an election was stolen, and that did not happen by accident. There's evidence here, a grand jury looking, and if it's as clean and mundane as you say, then these people ought to have nothing to worry about. But why shouldn't we look into it? The people who complain about misinformation and disinformation all the time, why does half the country believe something that didn't happen?
Well, half the country believes a lot of dumb stuff, including a lot of dumb stuff that comes from Republicans, but nobody's trying to put anybody in prison over it. Listen, we live in a.
They tried to put Donald Trump in jail, Van.
Hold on a second. They tried to put Donald Trump in jail over stuff that he actually he got indicted for, but the country went ahead and reelected him anyway. Look, my point is that.
So you just went against your own argument there. What an idiot, man! What an idiot.
This. It is in fact the case. People believe a lot of wacky stuff and nutty stuff in my party and in your party. That is very different from the Department of Justice saying they're going to put somebody in prison over it. That's a different world. We've not been in a world before. Listen, you served in the White House. I served in the White House. The idea you're going to somehow now go to jail because people.
Hold on. They never said they were going to put someone in jail. They said they were going to investigate. So what are you talking about? If the investigation leads to someone going to jail, going to prison, that's different. But this is all an investigation that they're bringing up, that they're looking into. What is he talking? He's being so disingenuous right now.
Misinterpreted what you did in there. I think this is very, very scary stuff, man.
Scott?
Look, I mean, we're obviously going to see this differently. And you and I have agreed about many things regarding the last few years. But on this, my view is that it has become obvious that what happened as Donald Trump was coming in and Barack Obama was going out bears some amount of investigation. And again, if you're right, all these people, they should have nothing to worry about. But there's a lot of people out there that have looked at this and decided that, intelligence was changed and ignored. And there were career people in the intelligence services saying we can't use the Steele dossier and so on and so forth. So at some point, people are just asking, how do you get accountability? Why does half the country believe Russia stole an election? Where is the accountability for that? Did people abuse their positions? Did they perjure themselves? Did they willfully mislead the American people? How do you get accountability for it? That's the question here.
Scott, can I ask you, though, is this, in your eyes, this would be the final judgment on that? It wasn't the Durham report. It wasn't the Senate Intelligence Committee run by Marco Rubio report. It wasn't the House and Senate efforts in the last 6-7 years to look into this. This is the final one. After this, you'll believe whatever it is?
Well, I mean, I would think so. I mean, typically an investigation like this from the justice system would be the end of the line. I mean, you'll find out whether anybody did commit criminal acts or not. And again, I don't know whether they did or they didn't. And so if Van is right and everything was above board and this was all just mundane policy differences, then I don't know why anybody would be worried about having their actions scrutinized. It seems to me that a hit dog hollers. And right now, the hit dogs are hollering. And I'm just telling you, enough has come forward for Republicans to believe that this bears a little bit more investigation.
Look, we just see it differently. And listen, a grand jury that's not a little rock. That is somebody dropping a refrigerator on you if it comes through. And then you can spend 2 or 3 years.
I know. Donald Trump knows.
Well, and you can spend 2 or 3 years just proving that you're innocent, and you spend a whole bunch of money. And why are we doing this? Where it's damn near, I don't know how many hundreds of years later. I mean, the last like 6 months it felt like 700 years. So
no, it's the people want accountability, because this will happen again if no one is held accountable for what happened. I mean, how can he not understand the seriousness? He knows what's going on. He's trying to play dumb. I mean, he understands the seriousness of this. We had a sitting president spying on and setting up an incoming president, try to make him look bad, try to say he was colluding with our enemy. Come on, man, this is a big deal. And he's trying to downplay it, just like the rest of the mainstream media is trying to downplay it like it's not a big deal when it absolutely is.
I don't understand. Tulsi Gabbard has not put forward any allegation that is criminal. And here we are. And by the way, this is all a part of a whole series of things that Donald Trump has done, even this past couple of weeks, that just seems like he is just going to abuse every little bit of power that he has to go after people he doesn't like. He's snatching stuff out of the Smithsonian. He's doing all kind of stuff, none of which is making America any better, none of which is making anybody's grocery bills go down. A lot of this stuff just seems like he's just petty white or petty wop or whatever. He's just the most petty president we've ever had. Can we just get on with getting the price of groceries down?
He can't help himself. All he sees is color, petty white.
Supposedly he's supposed to be running on.
All I'm going to say, beyond my appreciation for both of you, and I think you know that quite well, Jennings, you are lucky we didn't get into the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because I was going to welcome you into my Thunderdome, my friend, and it was not going to be pretty.
Fine.
So mark that down. We're going to get there eventually.
Why are the job numbers wrong every month? Why are the job numbers wrong every month?
No. You don't get to do it at the end when I don't have any more time. You don't get to do that. You don't get to start.
Yeah. Wow. Jennings reminded viewers that Democrats and the media misled Americans and a majority of Democrats into believing President Donald Trump colluded with Russia to win in 2016. He pointed out that the intelligence documents now show the story was fabricated. Absolutely. Had Trump not won in 2024, he might be sitting in jail today. That's an absolute fact. Jones couldn't help but to indulge in revisionism, as he would probably like for everyone to forget the lawfare against Trump and other conservatives during the Biden years. The entire Democratic Party would probably prefer voters also not to remember that a majority of its rank and file voters also wanted people punished for refusing vaccines during the pandemic. Remember that? They wanted us locked up for not getting the jab. I still to this day never ever been jabbed up. According to a Rasmussen poll from January 2022, 59% of Democrats supported confining the unvaccinated to their homes. 45% wanted them sent to government camps, but yet they got an issue with illegal immigrants going to camps. They got an issue with that though, but they have no problem with locking up people that didn't want to get the jab. This is liberal logic right there. A majority of Democrats quite literally wanted people in prison without due process for disagreeing with their worldview. To be fair, Jones wasn't too jazzed about Trump's ridiculous trial in New York when Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg charged him, but Jones still carries water for the party that pushed it. Now that Democrats are no longer in charge, he wants everyone to move on. Unfortunately for Jones, he tried to spin against Scott Jennings, who never has a problem putting things into perspective for CNN viewers, and I love it. Scott Jennings need another a bump in pay because he's doing an awesome job at CNN. I don't think I have the patience to argue with these idiots at CNN. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.